So, Janet, thank you so much for being here. The Parisian chapter, it has been so highly anticipated. When did you first realize that Lily's story wasn't over yet?
I was writing the book, The Paris Library. I was in a convent in Belgium, and I just got a flash of inspiration where I realized that this story will continue. I was actually going to kill off one of the characters, and I realized that Lily and her friend Odile deserved an encore. And so this is a completely standalone book, but it does follow the friendship of these two women into from Montana to Paris.
So, how did you decide to go the audiobook route instead?
Well, what I love about this book is that it's actually the library itself who is speaking, in that we have the program manager, the head librarian, the collection manager, a trustee. So it's actually a lot of personnel or patrons of the library. And so I wanted each one to have their own unique voice. And each one is, some people are really happy to be in Paris. Some people are trailing spouses, or they're divorced from a French person and they have kids so they can't leave. And so I really wanted that voice to come through, that happiness or that frustration or anger to come through. So it was really exciting to have these 11 voices come to life through these actors.
So, does that change the writing process when you're in your head thinking about voices?
It actually did quite a lot, because when I was writing it and thinking of it as a paper book, I only gave each character one small page. But when I realized it was going to be an audiobook, I really gave those characters free rein, and gave them some extra time so that they could express themselves a bit more. And it's been really a joy to hear them come to life.
I love that. I love to read so much. I totally get lost in books. I almost feel like I'm like the secret character behind the scenes. Like, I don't know, the waitress at the diner, or I don't know, the librarian in the corner putting the books back. So it's so, I don't know, it's so, I don't know. I feel sorry for people who don't read as much as they should.
Well, modern life is so hard, and that's what is great about audiobooks. I actually, the way you describe feeling when you're reading a book, that's how I want people to feel, like that they're part of that world and that they're watching it unfold before their eyes. But my sister, lives on a small farm, and she travels into work. And so it's an hour commute each way.
Oh.
And so she actually reads more books than I do, because she does a lot of chores on the farm, so she's always listening to an audiobook, whether she's in the truck, whether she is doing those chores. So I think audio has given people a real opportunity to enjoy books in a different way.
And there's something so romantic about the library. Am I wrong? I don't know. Am I the only one who feels like that? Like, I'm going home. I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and one of the things I always do the first day I get there is visit my library.
Oh, I love that. Well, I think the great thing about libraries is that you see so many books that you wouldn't necessarily see. When you walk into a bookstore, I'm always drawn to those tables, and I'm always
Mhm.
looking at what the tables, but libraries don't necessarily have tables. So you kind of look in a different way.
Yeah. And this is weird, but it has a nostalgic smell for me because it had, I mean, libraries have distinct smells. And for me, it's just, I don't know, it brings me back to when I was like 10 years old looking for books.
I think you're absolutely right. I feel that same way when I go to my hometown library in Shelby, Montana, population 2000. The smell has not changed in
Right?
even, in 40 years. But what is amazing is, like, the library has, for example, one of the things a few years ago, there was a huge prison built not that far from Shelby, where I'm from. And the library hosted an art show for the prisoners. And so
Oh,
they can't
wow.
really come into our community, but this little piece of them, they could share this little piece of themselves with the community through the library. And so I think that's what's so great about libraries, is they adapt to all sorts of unexpected situations and make sure that as many people as possible can enjoy connecting.
So who got to play Lily in the audiobook, and are you pleased with that pick? How much input did you have in it?
Oh my gosh. You know, the Simon and Schuster audio was so incredible. They sent me the demo tapes of the different people they thought would be great for the and but I really feel for casting directors because it is an impossible job because for example, I have one character who's actually the physical library who speaks, and in my mind they would either have complete gravitas or would just sound weary because they just celebrated their centennial, so they're over 100 years old. And so each actor brought either the gravitas or the weariness, and I wouldn't have been able to make that call because they both sounded great to me. But I think Pauline Chalamet in the role of Lily, just like she does in the HBO series, the Sex Lives of College Girls, she brings that wonder, that hope, that humor, naivete, and she really, yes, she really underlines the hope and innocence of my main character, Lily. And Lily can actually be a little bit selfish, but I find that Pauline's voice is so endearing that I kind of forgive Lily her selfishness. And I actually did a buddy read, a book by Taryn Fisher with my sister, and the character was kind of a liar, but her voice had such vulnerability that we forgave the character everything. And I don't know if I had read the physical book instead of listening to it. I don't know if I would have forgiven the character. So it's really interesting how audio can make a big difference.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait to listen to it. I'm so excited.
Oh.
Where could people go for more information on your book and on you?
Well, you can find more about me at jskeslincharles.com. That's my website, or my newsletter, J Skeslien Charles Substack. And I have all the buy buttons for any realtor that you would want, whether it online retailer, whether it is independent or online. You'll find everything on my website.
I love it. Janet, you were going to have to come back again. Do you have
I
another
would love
book in the
that.
works?
You know, I'm still promoting my other book, Miss Morgan's Book Brigade, which
Oh,
is about the American women who traveled to France during World War I and rebuilt northern France, 90% of which had been completely destroyed. So it's been really fun to talk about these library books because in Miss Morgan's Book Brigade, an American librarian actually brought children's libraries to France during World War I. So it's been really fun to talk about this library trilogy.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye, Kiki.
Bye.